attacks at Uri, Pakistan has crossed the threshold of India's tolerance to Pakistan-sponsored terror. Now, these attacks were timed to coincide with the United Nations General Assembly, where Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif intends to speak about Kashmir. In India, the clamour for justice is rising. Government says it has a wide variety of options at this stage. So what are options for the government? Let's take a look.
Is it time to say goodbye to business as usual with Pakistan? The thundering question quaking India's security establishment. The Uri attack has put India's Pak policy through its biggest torture test yet. The dastardly attack by India's rogue neighbour has forced Prime Minister Modi to weigh his first real options. A day after Prime Minister Modi said the attack will not go unpunished, he chaired a high-level meet at his residence on the Uri attack. A meeting where specific retribution was discussed. Top government sources have told India today that strategies to teach Pak a lesson came up. Sources say the Modi government will soon be mounting punitive strikes on Pakistan and will now deliberate on declaring Pakistan a state sponsor of terror. With Uri and Pathankot, Pakistan has now launched 2 audacious attacks in this year alone. Apart from the regular infiltration attempts across the LOC, the time has come to move beyond empty rhetoric and make Pak bleed the way it bleeds India. Pakistan cannot go unpunished this time. That much India is certain of. From a display of hard power to flexing its soft power muscle, layered alternatives are available with India. Will the government now junk the policy of turning the other cheek when slapped by Pakistan? With Gaurav Sawant in Delhi, Shiv Arur for India Today.
Over the last 36 hours, the country has heard a lot of speculation about whether India should respond, what sort of action India should take against Pakistan. Here on India Today, we've got the first inside track exclusively of what the precise thought process is within Team Modi at this time. Enough is enough. A phrase you hear every time India is bled by Pakistani terrorists. But could that actually be true this time? Has the Prime Minister lost his patience now? Has Narendra Modi truly decided that enough is enough? While media organizations speculate on how India should respond, India Today gets you the solid facts. A 4-point inside view of Prime Minister Modi's actual thought process from top sources in the security establishment. Point 1, the first confirmation, is that India will mount punitive strikes on Pakistan. The details are necessarily classified and sensitive, but it is clear that the government won't let Uri be another 26/11 or Pathankot.
ये एक एक्शन है, एक एक्ट ऑफ वॉर है पाकिस्तान का, और हमारा रवैया वैसे ही होना चाहिए जैसे लड़ाई में है.
Point number 2, the National Investigation Agency is investigating the Uri attack, but India will not supply Pakistan with evidence dossiers. India Today can confirm dossier diplomacy is off the table. Point number 3, for long India has dilly-dallied on taking firm military action on Pak-sponsored terror training camps in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The Modi government's current thought process involves a definite element involving the destruction of these ISI-funded camps. And finally, point number 4, India will set the ball rolling to formally designate Pakistan a terror state, both nationally as well as on a global forum through the United Nations. If all-out war with Pakistan is necessarily unthinkable, the inside track that India Today has accessed of the Modi government's thought process shows that its Pakistan policy has changed in just a matter of hours and is going to be exponentially more aggressive, both diplomatically as well as on the border. The question now is, will that thought be translated into action? In New Delhi, Shiv Arur for India Today.
A detailed analysis of the attack that took place on this camp here in Uri suggests how those who carried out this assault were very well planned. They knew the exact moment, perhaps the moment where was the weakest in terms of the guard in this camp, also had access to information about a changeover of troops taking place between one unit to another.
The worst attack on the army in Kashmir in the past 26 years. Sunday morning's routine shattered by grenade blasts and automatic weapons fire. But India Today now has the inside story of one of the most terrifying attacks. 4 terrorists stormed the Indian Army's 12th Brigade at around 5:15 a.m. on Sunday. The terrorists first attacked the camp's administrative block because it was least defended. Unarmed soldiers were refilling diesel in barrels from fuel tanks there. Springing a surprise, the terrorists lobbed 17 grenades in just 3 minutes. This caused a massive fire in the barracks and tents, and 13 Jawans were burnt instantly alive. 4 more succumbed to their injuries later in hospital. The smoke, however, disoriented the terrorists. It was a 19-year-old Dogra regiment soldier who shot dead the first terrorist. Despite severe head injuries, he challenged the others as well. Since the barracks were empty, the terrorists took defensive positions inside the barracks on the 2nd floor and kept firing till 4 paracommandos stormed the building and eliminated each one of them with automatic fire. Importantly, the terrorists were dressed in combat fatigues, had close-cropped haircuts, confusing soldiers and leading to a delayed response. The army also recovered a map elaborately marked in the Pashtun language, revealing the entire terror plan funded by Pakistan. The timing of the attack also shows that terrorists had excellent ideas about the camp routine, attacking just when the troops were changing duty and their guard was down. Top intelligence sources have told India Today that 3 Jaish-e-Mohammed Fidaiin units had entered India from Pakistan. While one was eliminated in an encounter with the army on the 12th of September, the 2nd unit attacked the army camp in Uri. The 3rd reportedly is still out there, still on the loose, tasked with spreading terror among civilians in Srinagar. India remains on alert. Bureau Report, India Today.
They are Indian bravehearts who defended their country till the last breath. And now their families are asking one question from the government. Who will stand up for the lost ones? As the families of those martyred in the Uri terror attack mourn, they have a request for the government. Seek revenge from Pakistan.
बदला लेना चाहिए जिस तरह हमारे आदमी को मारे उसी तरह वहाँ भी बदला लेना चाहिए इन लोगों के हाथ खोल के चलिए ये लोग का भी अधिकार है लड़ने का हाँ भारत सरकार हाथ बंद करके रखे हैं इन लोग
Families of the braves who perished in Uri, pressing the Modi Sarkar to seek revenge, to make Pakistan pay for every drop of blood lost. A clamour to unshackle our soldiers. Martyr Nayak Sunil Kumar Vidyarthi's daughter joins her mother to hoist high a tough anti-Pakistan slogan.
जैसे कि उन लोग हम लोग के देश पर अटैक करते हैं अचानक वैसे हम लोग को भी करना चाहिए तभी पाकिस्तान सुधरेगा। IIT ज्वाइन करना चाहती थी दिल्ली IIT लेकिन अब पता नहीं हो पाएगा।
22-year-old Gangadhar Dolui, the sole breadwinner of his family, has left behind an entire village in Howrah in tears. West Bengal, Maharashtra, Bihar, Jharkhand, Jammu. India is seething. There's rage simmering in every heart for India's lost sons. Martyr Havildar Ravi Pal is now just a memory in these pictures. These eyes cannot hope to see him smile at her again.
मैं नेताओं से चाहता हूं कि वो अदले का बदला लेते रहें.
India salutes its brave heroes and the sacrifice of their families. But wreaths cannot be the only tribute anymore. Probe committees are not the real answers. Dossier diplomacy needs to be off the table. They defended India till their last breath. Now their families are screaming to be heard, seeking retribution, a befitting reply, and an end to the mindless butchering of our Jawans by the enemy. Bureau Report, India Today.
From shielding terrorists to funding terror to fueling unrest in the valley, Pakistan, with its many provocations, has constantly tested India's resolve for peace. Question is, how many peace talks will it take for Pakistan to act against terror outfits and stop this bloodbath of Indian Jawans and innocent civilians? A small trip across the border, but a giant leap of faith for India. This was February 1999, and the then Prime Minister had travelled to Lahore by bus in an unprecedented gesture of peace. Nawaz Sharif welcomed him with great fanfare and smiles. Smiles which hid the sheer duplicity of Pakistan. Showed how Islamabad was preparing for a war even as it laid out the red carpet in Lahore. Because just 3 months later, India was battling Pakistan for the 4th time in Kargil. It was the biggest betrayal in living memory by Pakistan. Fast forward 16 years, a new dispensation headed by Narendra Modi in Delhi and Nawaz back in the saddle in Pakistan. The two meet on the sidelines of a summit in the Russian city of Ufa. "17 days later, a group of terrorists attacked a bus and then a police station at Dinapur in Punjab's Gurdaspur district. 10 died, including a superintendent of police. December 2015. Narendra Modi's impromptu halt in Lahore on his way back from Kabul. And an evening of camaraderie at Nawaz Sharif's house. Hopes rose that India's diplomatic outreach would break the ice between the two nations. Pakistan responded swiftly with a New Year's terror attack at the Pathankot Air Force Base. Gunfight continued for 4 days before ending on the 5th of January this year. 7 soldiers were martyred. Since then, there has been a big attack at Pampur, with a death toll of 8 and numerous other terror attempts. Clear indication of the response Pakistan has for Indian outreach attempts. Bureau Report, India Today.
Masood Azhar is undoubtedly India's enemy number 1. It is hit outfit. The Jaish-e-Mohammed which engineered and carried out the deadly attack in Uri. In fact, the 2 big attacks on Indian defense establishments, first at Pathankot and now in Uri, have both been engineered by this terror mastermind.
Two of the biggest terror attacks on Indian soil this year. Pathankot Air Force Base breached in January. And now the dastardly early morning attack in Uri. The man responsible, Masood Azhar, chief of the Pakistan-backed Jaish-e-Mohammed. He is a man treated as royalty in Pakistan. The man Islamabad is increasingly dependent on in its proxy war against India. Azhar was a Harkat terrorist arrested in 1994. He was released in December 1999. One of the three exchanged for passengers of the Indian Airlines flight 814 hijacked to Kandahar. Soon after, he addressed a rally in Karachi, swearing he would not rest till he had liberated Kashmir and destroyed India. 17 years later, Azhar is still a free man, operating out of his heavily guarded base in Kot Bhawalpur in Punjab. Pakistan's infamous intelligence agency ISI provides him protection 24/7. Despite international sanctions against him, he is allowed to openly address rallies, instigating his rabid followers against India. Pathankot created little pressure on him. Massive international pressure forced ISI to take him into protective custody for a few months, till things quietened down. He and his brothers were placed in an ISI safe house in his hometown, conspiring with him to plan other attacks.
Masood Azhar's proximity to the Pakistani establishment and those in power can be gauged by the fact that Islamabad managed China to put on technical hold a resolution moved by India in the Security Council seeking to designate Masood Azhar as a global terrorist. This resolution was put on hold for the second time in April this year. Now India has constituted a 3-member committee to reboot its efforts.
Masood Azhar is now the most potent anti-India weapon wielded by Pakistan, like Sayyid Salahuddin of the Hizbul Mujahideen and Hafiz Saeed of Lashkar-e-Taiba. Bureau Report, India Today.